What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today I have for you guys the biggest power rankings, the most important power rankings, probably not for the players, but the most important week for the players, the World Series of Bowling. It is like 5 tournaments in one, 3 weeks of bowling, and a huge haul of points. Could make a lot of players' careers for next year. As you know, that top 43 is where you want to be exempt into all the events next year, other than the TOC. Obviously, you have to be a champion for that. But also, this year has one of the most riveting and exciting Player of the Year races going on, in my opinion. Last couple years have been dominated. Obviously, last year, EJ with 5 titles. The year before that, Belmo with like 5 titles. Just doesn't feel like it's been close the last few years, but this year we've got 5 or 6 guys that could really take the cake by the end of the year, which is not too far away from us. We got the World Series and the TOC right after that. Obviously, there's Bill, who is your points leader thus far, and right behind him, very closely, is EJ, who, in probably a lot of people's eyes, is the Player of the Year so far, even though he hasn't won. So if he can notch a win or 2 here at the World Series, could be his. Also have Belmo making a late surge, making that Masters show last year, the highest finisher out of all the guys who seem to be in contention for this Player of the Year. Simo, is never out of it, has a lot of points, a big haul of points this year, has a win as well. Could notch a win if he manages to win one of the majors, could very well be him. And also Kyle, who has the 2 titles this year, the only one who has won 2 titles this year, one of those being a U.S. Open, very important. Looking for a little bit of consistency here at the World Series. So if he can manage to win one more, likely he will be your Player of the Year for a second time. But before we get started into the power rankings, please hit that like, comment, and subscribe button down below. Hit the bell to get notifications every time a video drops. Mondays with Mikey, live streams, catch them. We talk about anything and everything. Whatever you want to talk about, we talk about, unless I have something that I want to talk about, all right? So please hit the bell, get those notifications, and also down the link in the description below, the link to our merch, as well as a link to EFX with me and Chris's discount code, so you can get 10% off. And don't forget to follow EFX 2014 on Instagram. Every Friday, it seems like they have a flash sale, so that's a great opportunity to get 20% off, plus stack Chris and my code, whichever one you like. Can't stack both, but you can get up to 30% off on the EFX website just by following on Instagram and finding out when there's a sale. But nevertheless, guys, let's get into the power rankings. I'm going to have a top 9 and then a sleeper, because I couldn't figure out who I wanted to put 10th. All right, so we're going to start here at number 9. I've got Marshall, who's 6th in points. Another guy, probably the lowest guy, I would say, who can make a charge for Player of the Year. 1 win this year, is 6th in points, and hasn't found too much consistency or success at the World Series in the past couple of years, but this year just seems to be a brand new Marshall. So the last few years, I don't think are any indicator for Marshall. It wouldn't surprise me if he won one of the animal patterns or made the World Championship show. Simple as that. Marshall is doing some good bowling this year, and I expect it to continue in this long format that requires a lot of versatility and a lot of patience. Again, World Series, they're bowling on 3 different animal patterns. Those are 3 different kind of events in it themselves, but those 3 qualifying blocks also count towards their World Championships standings. So that is Marshall in 9th. I've got next up in 8th place, a guy who has very much had a lot of success at the World Series of Bowling, specifically here in Thunder Bowl, where they are bowling this week. BJ Moore made the World Championship show last time that the World Series was at Thunder Bowl in 2019. Also came in 2nd in the Scorpion Championship. So very familiar with this building, has struck a lot in this building and in this event. Always does well in the World Championships as well. Another guy that just kind of plots along, is very patient, can do a lot of things with the ball as well, and just has been the consummate World Championships bowler, it seems like. So I expect BJ to do well again, and that's our number 8 guy, but BJ. Number 7, we've got Chris Prather, another guy who actually had his breakout at the 2019 World Series, beating BJ for his first title of the Scorpion Championship and also making that World Championship show as well. So another guy I expect to do very well, who has had a very underwhelming year by his standards and by probably a lot of people's standards. Prather, a guy that a lot of people were up in arms about me not having in the first week of Power Rankings, but hasn't really put it together yet, has strung along a lot of cashes, but just hasn't really thrown himself in there in contention and hasn't made a TV show yet, but it wouldn't surprise me again if he is in contention for this World Championship show. So that's number 7, Christopher Prather. At number 6, I've got Christopher Vi. Has seen a little bit of a up and down season this year. Made that show at the first event and then had a miscut and then made match play, miscut, made match play. So he's been a little bit all over the place. He is nursing a little bit of an arm injury, I've been told, so that could be why he's had a little bit of inconsistency. But another guy at the World Series, at the World Championships, who has had a lot of success. One of the players, like a lot of these guys, who, if you give them enough time and enough different patterns, they're going to figure it out. And he is one of those guys where he's going to plod along, and once he starts seeing what he likes to see, tends to throw 10, 11 strikes a game very quickly. So I would expect nothing less than Christopher to make a run at this show, if at the very least make match play at the World Championships. But number 6, Christopher Vi. Number 5, I've got Simo, his lowest ranking for the year, and it's a little weird. This top 5 here, I could have probably put a lot of them in any of the top 5 spots, but as far as performance, Simo's been a little bit of the quietest. The Masters was a long week, and he obviously was automatically birthed into match play. He made it anyway. He qualified like 26, but didn't make too deep of a run. But another guy, ultimate long format bowler, the guy that can actually do anything with the ball. I expect to bowl pretty well. Not much more I can say about Simo. One of the guys that can take a stronghold on Player of the Year if he can win the World Championships especially, or if he manages to win a animal pattern and the World Championships. Like I said, anything can happen here at the World Series. I would pay close attention because this is going to be a very exciting World Series and Player of the Year race. But Simo at number 5. Number 4, I've got your 2-time winner in 2024, Kyle Troop, your US Open champion. All these guys are gonna have the same explanation. Long format bowlers. These are just the best of the best, right? Kyle, if he can manage to win a title here, really takes a stronghold on Player of the Year, especially if it is the World Championship, or if he can manage to make all of the match plays, show a bit of consistency, and gain a big haul of points. I think the points are the only reason why he isn't the outright favorite to win Player of the Year, just because of that consistency. But big defining week this week, and my dog is starting to bark at whatever it is. Come here, buddy. You want to be on the video? Oh, yeah. But that is Kyle at number 4. At number 3, we've got your points leader for the year, Bill O'Neill. Did not make the cut at the Masters, I believe. That or he lost very quickly. I honestly wasn't paying much attention to anybody other than Chris and Darren. But I don't think he bowled the best that he could. So a good week of the Masters really could have helped him put a stranglehold on the Player of the Year, but he's going to be in a dogfight now with 4 or 5 of the other guys here. The last time we had the World Series at Thunder Bowl, I think he threw 1 ball and bowled very well on all the patterns. So obviously he has a good track record here at Thunder Bowl. It's a place that a lot of the veterans, I think, are gonna bowl well because there's a big sense of familiarity there. Thunder Bowl is a place that they've gone back to for a long time. So I expect Bill to bowl very well. Again, long format, many patterns. You could do maybe everything, anything with the ball. So Bill O'Neill at 3rd. In 2nd, we've got Belmo coming off a 3rd place finish at the Masters, your 5th place player in points, but probably in recent memory, the best World Series bowler. Obviously notching, I think, 3 World Championships titles. I think he won them in a row, 3 consecutively. I think they were the first 3 that I ever bowled. 2017, 2018, and it was like a year we skipped one, but he won like 3 in a row, I'm pretty sure. He did win the World Championships at this building the last time that it was held at Thunderbolt to win his record 11th major. It's kind of crazy to think he's only won 4 titles or 4 majors since then, but that's just Belmo standards. So long format, Belmo, the GOAT. He will bowl well. I'm not gonna say I expect him to bowl well. He will bowl well. And he probably will make the show again, along with your number 1 in the power rankings, E.J. Tackett, 2nd in points, your defending world champion, world champion sounds cool. You're defending world champion, another World Series dominator, and he'll probably qualify first, all right? Let's be honest. World Championships, he's probably gonna be the first seed. He's probably gonna lead by about 634. But this year it's been all about the TV shows. We'll see if he can make the right decision off the bat. Seems like he's had some maybe questionable ball choices or how to play the lane. Sometimes it's just a shot here or there. Same thing with Belmo. It seems like they've played the lanes a little bit more in a conservative manner, where it seems like most of their success, or when they've won at least, is when they've gone with a little bit more of an aggressive ball reaction approach. But I'm not out there bowling. I can't say anymore what the lanes have been like. So it's just what I've been seeing as a viewer. But EJ number 1, and last but not least, my sleeper pick, for no particular reason other than I couldn't decide who I wanted to pick at number 10, Tommy Jones. A guy who is looking for the Triple Crown this week at the World Championships. He is a TOC and a US Open champion. The World Championship will give him the Triple Crown. And another old guy who, yeah, he would punch me in the no-nos if he heard me say that. But another elder statesman who has bowled many a games at Thunderbolt, so is likely very familiar with the building. And Tommy, be on the lookout for Tommy. Maybe make his charge for the World Championship. He's had some good runs in these past couple of years, so maybe he can put it together and finally complete the Triple Crown. But there it is, guys, your World Series of Bowling power rankings. Be on the lookout. It's a lot of bowling, long 2.5, 3 weeks with a lot of shows. The doubles is currently going on while I'm filming this, so I just didn't feel like doing doubles power rankings. I was a little lazy on that, and it just felt like a lot of work. So that's it, guys, your World Series of Bowling. I'll catch you guys in the next one, which is going to be the Tournament of Champions. But I'm expecting the Player of the Year race to possibly be defined this week, but we'll see. I'll see you guys in the next one.